Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and today I have a $12.95 candle sale haul, which with a 25% off coupon brings it to $9.71. So my $9.71 candle sale haul. I was chopping at the bit to sniff some of the new stuff that was supposed to be released for this sale. So unfortunately, like no ice lemon pound cake or the fresh lemon waves or the Paradise Cove collection, but a select few of the other new spring ones, as you've seen all over social media, are out in stores. And so I did use my 25% off paper coupon and picked up a few of those, and that's what today's haul is. So without further ado, let me just get right into it. The first one we have, which I was most excited for, but I have burned it already and I'm not quite as jazzed about it, and that is the Honeysuckle and Peach Spritz fragrance right here, which I believe this is supposed to also be coming out in body care in the Garden Infusions collection, and that's what that looks like. It is a little bit textured and there's like a metallic gold foil to the gold accents there, and it does have that pretty cool lid on there as well. These are $26.50. It's honeysuckle blooms, juicy peaches, and orange zest. And I have already burned it once. It had the core wicks that made the mushroom tops, and the flames were very high and vicious. So yeah, when smelling the lid and on cold, it smells pretty much like a vanilla and peach tea, which has been out for a while now, but with a slight twist to it. It's still very similar to vanilla and peach tea, and that's probably my biggest qualm with it. But if you like vanilla and peach tea and just want a slight variation of it, then Honeysuckle and Peach Spritz does exist. But on cold, I was a lot more jazzed about it because I felt like I was getting a lot more floral. But once it burned, I wasn't getting a whole lot of floral, that I was kind of bummed about it. But basically, yeah, it smells a lot like vanilla and peach tea. It's that sort of creamy, slightly even like buttery peach plus milky fragrance. I think vanilla and peach tea in comparison is just maybe a little bit sweeter and even a little bit heavier on the peach, and the milk is just like it's kind of like they went to the perfumers and they were like, we want this type of fragrance, which is like a vanilla peach like creamy fragrance, and they got like two variations and they ended up just putting out both of them, like the both slightly tweaked variations, and that's what we got with both vanilla and peach tea and Honeysuckle Peach Spritz. And yeah, it's just like a very slight deviation of vanilla and peach tea, but there is a slight floral component, but once again, it's captured a little bit more in the lid and on cold, whereas when it's burning, it's not as heavy on the floral as I had hoped for. But once again, I could be a little bit biased because I'm a floral lover, so I want like the really strong florals to hit me, and my nose is more accustomed to floral fragrances. But if you don't love floral fragrances, then you might be slightly turned off by the slight floral note in here. But the honeysuckle, I like the little addition of the floral in there, but once again, it's just not strong enough for me. I would say it's not even like, I don't think it's like their wild honeysuckle or honeysuckle bouquet like just shoved in here. I don't think it's even that note. I don't really pick up that much of that like distinctly honeysuckle, which their honeysuckle usually has almost like a honeyed fragrance to it. I don't quite really get that in here. So a little bit bummed about that. I do like the twist of there being a slight floral presence, but just not enough for me. At first on cold, it kind of reminded me of Honeysuckle Mimosa from Homework, because that was a similar type of concept. But once again, burning, it's just like largely vanilla and peach tea, which is a very like minuscule amount of a slight floral texture to it. And that's what I get with Honeysuckle and Peach Spritz. So that's what that was right there. Yeah, I was just really jazzed about this on cold, but once burning, I'm just sort of like, eh. So there was that. The next new one we have is Blue Sky Breeze right here, and that's what that looks like, and it has the blue watercolor or whatever that is with the gold accents there. This one is Morning Spring Air, Fresh Violet Petals, and Crisp Gala Apples and English Ivy. And this one also has the core wicks. This is like your usual run-of-the-mill like laundry fresh clean fragrance is pretty much what I get from it. It has a little bit like a slight juicy sweet apple in there that reminds me of I think they just used to have like a plain cotton back in the day that had like a melon and apple note in it. Kind of like that, where the fruitiness gives it a slight like sweetness that it's not quite as like, let's say sharp or intense as like Laundry Day. But definitely your usual like cotton fresh clean fragrance is definitely what I get from it. There's a slight floral aspect from, I guess, the violet petals in there. And also a slight like ozone quality from the spring air as well that gives it a slight like spa clean vibe to it as well. It's not normally one I would gravitate towards, but they've been just really on the linen kick that I might still end up burning this one and see how it does. So it's Blue Sky Breeze right there. The next one that we have is the Black Cherry Seltzer, which is this purple one with the dragonflies on it, and that's what that looks like. This one is Sweet Black Cherries, Fizzy Seltzer Water, and Cane Sugar. This one also has the same core wicks as you can see here. Yeah, this one, it's interesting. It's definitely like a slight like black cherry merlot type of like cherry juice type of cough syrup slash like Welch's like juice concentrate type of like juiciness from the black cherry is definitely in there. So I think if you like black cherry merlot, I think you will enjoy that. But then there's like a slight, I honestly get like a citrus effervescence to it and like a citrus like sugar crystal vibe to it that also slightly is reminiscent of like Fruit Loops or even like Tricks, where there's like, you know how like Fruit Loops or cereal fragrances tend to have like a lemon, like forward lemon leaning type of sugary feel to it, kind of like the texture of like the hard crunchiness of like a lemon Fruit Loop or Tricks or something like that. There's a slight like, not quite crunchy, but a slight like sugary lemon like sprinkle that does kind of remind me of like a Fruit Loops or a cereal type of fragrance to it, but I guess it's supposed to come off as like a lemon effervescence is what I get from it. Kind of think of like a black cherry lemonade is probably the best way I could describe it, with a little bit of that like crystally effervescence is what I get from this one. I don't know, we'll have to see. It's very fruity and very sweet. But I think the main difference between this and Black Cherry Merlot is that there is that like sort of lemon, seltzery, sugar crystal, slightly Fruit Loops type of vibe to it. And that's what I get from Black Cherry Seltzer. So that's what that one was right there. And I think that was it for that collection. Yes. There was just like strawberry pound cake, which we all know that. Sugared lemonade, we don't care about that. I think all the other stuff was just same old repackages. So then, I did grab a Spring Has Sprung because I've been eyeing this one for a while, and I was like, for $9.71, okay, let me try it out. And that's what that looks like right here. This one is Easter Lilies, Dew Covered Grass, and Early Spring Air. This one I was interested in because they've had many other like Spring Has Sprung or Easter bouquet fragrances out before. There was a Spring Has Sprung that I think was it called Happy Easter or something? Easter Bouquet maybe? That smelled a lot like a deviation of Flower Shop that I actually really enjoyed, but I think that was, I just like burned one and that was the end of it. It's not that. There's also another Easter like floral fragrance they had out that was very similar to the old Casablanca Lily fragrance, which we haven't seen in forever. There was one that was like that as well. And this one's not that either. So I just kind of wanted to like get out of my system to see which one of these were that. And this is, I believe, a new fragrance. This one also has the core wicks on it, as you can see here. It's quite strong on cold. I would say it's definitely heavy on that like lily and ozone fragrance is what I get from it most. So it still does kind of remind me of the old Casablanca Lily fragrance. Actually quite similar to that, but I don't have that in my possession anymore, so I can't like compare it with confidence. I don't think it's that, but similar to that fragrance. It's a sort of fresh ozonic or ozonic, however you pronounce it, like lily white floral fragrance. Also kind of in the route as fresh cut lilacs, but not quite as powdery or floral as it. There's definitely a little bit more of like a grassy undertone to it. But it's one of the very rare grassy floral fragrances that we get from this, like fresh bamboo and fresh cut lilacs are the only ones I can think of that are out like in current times. So it's kind of like refreshing to finally have something that's a little bit more green and floral and grassy. So I do appreciate that. It's just like not another boring like Tutti Frutti Jelly Bean, Marshmallow Fluff, like, you know, stuff they always put out. So that's kind of what I get from that. Yeah, so definitely the lilies in there. Yeah, grass and spring air, that's totally what I get. It's like that ozone quality mixed with the grassiness, and then a slightly like dewy Casablanca lily type of lily floral is what I get. So we'll have to see how this turns out. And yeah, it's like a nice spring fragrance. So I was like, I'll grab that. So that was that right there. And I believe that was it for the candles. Let's see, I don't think there was anything else to talk about. I think the rest of the stuff is supposed to come out in like a week with all the body care stuff, with that Buttercups and Bellini stuff. And the rest of the candles, obviously all of us want ice lemon pound cake, but that's not supposed to be out in most stores, so I don't think we'll find that until later on. And then obviously we want the fresh lemon waves and the Paradise Cove, that collection, and want to sniff those as well. So I believe that's it for the candles. And then I just have one random item. A friend did not want fresh coconut and cotton, so I inherited it and I was really enjoying it. So I was like, let me just lump it in with this haul video to talk about it. So we have that. This is kind of old news. It came out with fresh sheets and was it white t-shirt. I had the white t-shirt single wick and it was totally unscented, but then we have the fresh coconut cotton one. I remember getting a comment about someone saying that it was really strong when you go to burn it, and this is actually really excellent when you go to burn it. It's so strong when you burn it. I had it in a bedroom. It was just the very first burn. I just put an Illuma lid on it, and once it pulled out, it like completely filled that entire bedroom, much better than the white t-shirt. So highly recommend if you want a stronger cotton fragrance, then the fresh cotton and coconut actually does perform very well. It's like this like hot musky cotton fragrance that kind of smells like you were doing like laundry outside in like a shed or a sunroom or something, and it's like really hot outside, but the dryer's also going, so you get that like hot humidity in there mixed with a coconut. But I kind of don't mind that because it's like kind of summery and like nice. It's like a tropical cotton fragrance. So yeah, I was just impressed with how strong it was. It does remind me quite a bit of one of my favorite Forever Beach Days fragrance from a long time ago. This one's actually fresh beach cotton, tiara flower, saltwater breeze, orange blossom, and golden suntan musk. So you can see the notes are quite similar on this. This one I believe is a little bit more like creamy and sweet, and slightly more floral in like a sun-kissed suntan orange blossom kind of way, whereas this one's way more heavy on that balls to the walls like traditional cotton fragrance. But in any case, I'm still just really enjoying it. So if you do have to like redeem a reward or something, want a single wick that's actually strong, then fresh coconut and cotton was excellent, at least on the first burn. So I just want to throw that in there because it was performing rather well for a single wick. And I believe that is it. Let me know what you picked up in the candle sale. I don't believe there's really any like online exclusives they add other than like Southern Magnolia online, and then of course some of the men's candles are online as well. And yeah, so let me know what you got down in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.